the sun has been shining all day long. I believe y'all had some rain down here yesterday, is that correct? No. God's given us a little bit of both of them. We appreciate it. This is our city council workshop. It's also a call meeting, which we will address after going through this workshop. Today is July the 7th, 2014. It's about 5:04 p.m. And we're going to start off with the discussion items. Number one, the resolution providing for adoption of the FY 2015 millage rate. Ms. Lewis. Oh, Ms. Lewis, okay.
Mayor, Council, as you know, we are required, the city is required to officially adopt the millage rate based on the final digest that was sent to the state of Georgia. The county has done this, and this is setting that millage rate at the same rate that the budget was approved. So the final digest came in a little bit under what we used in the preliminary for the budget process, but it's only about 15,000 lower, and I think that we're hoping that will be adjusted through adjustments throughout now and maybe mid-year revision. So we're not changing the budget, we're just officially adopting the millage rate.
Ms. Lois, can I stop you right there? We're joined on the telephone by Wes, who's under the weather and was very courteous not to come in and give us all what he's got. So Wes, can you hear everything okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just making sure. Lois, sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That was it. The millage rate will, we're asking you to officially adopt it at the 9.759 millage rate. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Y'all have
Any questions? Wes, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay.
That
Thank
would
you,
be
ma'am.
part of the
Appreciate
call meeting there.
Yes, ma'am. That'd be in the call meeting. Item number 2 is a resolution providing for a new alcoholic beverage license for the Red Apple located at 330 Main Street. And that's Ms. Rona.
Yes, sir, this is
Ms. Rona,
a request for
right
an,
to step down. We're not going to vote on it tonight, so we got.
I'm just going to provide you all with some information, so I don't think you need to be a part of any conversation, but unless our city attorney needs you to step down.
I can stay up here. Yes. Okay.
Okay, this is a request by Alicia Soto, who is owner of what will be called the Red Apple LP, to be located at 330 Main Street. He is requesting an alcoholic beverage license to sell malt, wine, and distilled spirits consumption retail. This business is going to be categorized as an entertainment establishment, which means that folks over the age of 18 will be able to enter into that establishment. He will have to follow the ordinance guidelines that you all adopted last year for entertainment establishments. A background check has been done on Mr. Soto, and he comes back with a clean record, so staff is recommending approval of this request.
Okay. Item number 3 is a resolution providing for the new alcoholic beverage license for the Vasu Food Mart located at 1405 Highway 41 North. Ms. Rona.
Yes, sir. This is a request from Vashali Shah, new owner for Vasu Food Market. It's located at 1405 Highway 41 North. Background check was done on this lady. I'm sorry, I want to call her gentleman. And it came back as a clean background. And the request is for malt and wine package retail. So staff recommends approval of this request as well. And Mr. Ehlers, I think that this might be in your, never mind, I'm going to retract that and then look for sure. So I think it might be in your district. I'll go ahead with number 4 if you'd like.
Yes, ma'am, please.
This is for Walgreens. They do have a change in management. A background check has been run on Mr. Comparado. I believe his name is Steve Comparado. He has no record, so staff is recommending approval of this amended board resolution. It is for wine and beer package retail as well.
Mr. Merritt and Ms. Martin, the 41 North establishments in Mr. Parrott's district.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Rona. Item number 5 is the discussion of the parking ordinance. We'll ask Buddy and Rob brief you on that.
Well, as you know, Mayor, we've been working with parking ordinance since 1990, I think it is.
Yes.
And I actually got involved in it in 2012. And there's a long history of parking issues from 1994. When you go back and track the history, there's things in the ordinance, next time there's things not in the ordinance. At one point, it appeared the ordinance completely disappeared for 4 or 5 years. Well, anyway, in 2012, we got together with the downtown merchants. We had a meeting, we discussed it. There was some talk of expanding the scope of the ordinance at that time. Nothing was done until earlier this year. I think we met back in February or March with the downtown merchants, and we got together and we came up with a game plan of how we wanted the ordinance to read. And the ordinance you can give a copy of is what we came up with.
As y'all recall, this is one of the things that we addressed at the retreat. We kind of went through the changes. Basically, there's not a whole lot of changes to the existing ordinance. I think my recollection is we used to have chalk marks on the street, and we don't do that anymore, so we took that part of it out. The issues as far as how we handle the ticketing, that changed a little bit, where we're giving people an opportunity to pay the ticket up until the court date, rather than limiting it to 24 hours. So, and then of course they don't pay the ticket by the court date, then they come on to court. So that was that change. And I think the other change had to do with the downtown parking area. And that involved, I think we expanded a little bit on 3rd Street and also included Brumby Way. So that was the changes to
And Commerce Way.
And Commerce Way. So it's, just so everybody's familiar with that, what we did, I mean, the downtown parking area is defined as Love Avenue, Main Street, south of 4th Street and north of 5th, 2nd Street, east of Central and west of Tifton Avenue, 1st Street and 1st Street Extension, 3rd Street, east of Central Avenue and west of Tifton Avenue, Commerce Way, north of 5th Street and south of Central, and Brumby Way. Those are the downtown parking area.
In addition to that, the Main Street from 4th to 82, that was in the original area of the original parking ordinance. In addition to the meetings that the chiefs have with the Downtown Development Authority and the merchants, when Brumby Way came into play, I personally met with Mike Brumby, Chip Rhodes, Ed Dormany, Jim Porter, and Mitch Williams, because they are going to lose parking places on Brumby Way, and they were all okay with that. They understood. So I think that we've covered hopefully at least 90% of the bases out here with this, making personal contact with the merchants and the downtown owners and what have you.
I have to ask John, because John Flacco is a lifelong friend. He's downtown. Are you happy with it?
I've never in my life seen an area where the police could not enforce. I mean, on 3rd Street, they can't even enforce a parking violation. And we're having a big issue with people, with the employees and business owners parking on the street. So what they're doing is they're taking every parking slot available, and there's nowhere for customers to park. And this is a commercial area, and can't even find a place to park. It's just gotten ridiculous, Mayor. It's just gotten real bad.
This fixes it for you?
Yes, sir. Another problem too is that we've gotten 3 of these large multi-unit buildings, like the Christie Peacock, the Southern Pickers, which is great. But in Southern Pickers, there's like 64 units that are leased out to different people. So on any given Friday, about half of those are working their booth, and guess where they park? Right in front of it. And we can't, the police can't even write a citation. There's just no way to enforce it. On 3rd Street, the same problem with the gyms. A guy wants to go in and pump iron for 2 hours, but he won't walk a half a block to do it. I mean, that's fine. He can park right in front of the door. But when you start getting the employees and business owners doing that, there's nowhere for customers to park.
Does this speak to the multi
It doesn't
like the
speak to
pictures.
the problem with the gym, because they're not employees.
Right.
And, so that's,
But the pickers,
I don't know how you fix that.
the pickers is, I mean, they are vested. They may not be the owner of the business, but they are vested in that business.
I'm not exactly familiar with that, what he's talking about there.
So you're talking about the store that kind of rents out slots?
Yes, sir, they rent out the
Well,
slot.
that could be an issue. I mean, I think that Larry had mentioned to me this afternoon that it talks about employees of businesses, but doesn't talk about owners of businesses. And we may want to tweak that just a little bit and just put, owners/employees.
Well, the other spin on that is those folks are also her customers in Southern Pickers.
But if they're renting a space,
They're renting a space,
They're
they're paying
owners.
her.
And I think that'd be,
They're renting a space, it's under the office of somebody else, but they're renting a space.
They're renting a space, but yes, I mean, it's all combined. They're renting a space from her, so they're her customers, but they're also owners.
Yeah. That's right.
That's one of those devil details.
It is, but we'll work on it, we'll look into it.
this is on the call meeting for tonight for adoption. Would you like we could always pull it off and bring it up
I want to
again.
hear what Lucretia has to say about it. Are you familiar? You've been involved in this, haven't you?
Very familiar with it. As a matter of fact, we got the ordinance yesterday afternoon and sent it to some of the, actually all of the merchants, and we got a lot of phone calls. I'm not sure if the chief got some of those phone calls. So we did have some merchants who shared some concerns and some comments and some additional maybe recommendations in terms of how we could also fix some problems. Most of my calls came from the north part of the downtown, closer to Love Avenue. Didn't have any from Main Street. Everyone that I talked to on Main Street were pretty satisfied with those comments. As a matter of fact, they came to most of the parking meetings, so they were very informed. So most of the merchants have definitely verbalized some comments as it relates to this new recommended ordinance.
Thank you, Lucretia. Okay. Do you have anything further to say about it?
Just that if there's a couple of things that we need to address, and that's the people that are in these multi-use buildings where the renters are. I think we need to put some language in there to address that issue. And the owners versus, we didn't address the owners in the ordinance as well. So we're only talking about 2 more weeks, and it's been going on since 1990.
Yeah, I think you need to capture the owners and the
Let's,
multi.
if it's okay with council, and also we'll put a map in here, attach it as an exhibit
Mhm.
of where public parking places are. Thank you, Julie, for bringing that to my attention. Where there are public parking places that the owners and tenants and residents
That's right.
can park in lieu of the restricted areas. And we'll bring that back to you on the August 4th council meeting.
Okay.
That'd be okay?
That sounds good.
with the idea that what I'll do then is, tweak this a little bit to provide that the owners as well of the businesses would be prohibited from parking, and define owners as anyone who either owns a business or leases or rents space within the building, something along those lines. That would-
If I could ask a question, how are we going to educate the public? I know we have the media, and is there going to be a period during which maybe there's just warnings are issued versus a full-fledged ticket? Or I think we really need to do a good PR campaign to explain to everybody. There's so many property owners and businesses. I don't want this to come across as a negative. I see it as a very positive thing, but education, I think, is the key in getting the word out there. So any plan on, I know Lucretia's got a great database of email addresses, and we can work with Lucretia. Any other thoughts on how to get the word out?
I think that's an excellent project for the Main Street Director. So you can go talk to each business owner individually and make sure they have a copy of the ordinance. How's that sound, Christian?
I think that's great. We can do that. One of the things that they did ask for today was a copy of the map. Where are the designated spaces? They kind of visibly want to see that.
Good.
We'll
So
have
we
that
can
for
get
you.
that, then we can get that to the
Okay,
merchants.
that'd be good. I think that's
I think it's positive too, or a good recommendation to make certain there's a positive spin.
absolutely,
On
yes.
it,
We're
and
trying
it's
to
not-
help the businesses and be
Absolutely.
proactive.
Yeah.
So,
In addition to
we're gonna-
that, if you will look in the back of the room, we have Mr. Chris Beckham with us today. We had a meeting with him this morning about helping to market the city and putting a positive spin on agenda items that are controversial. And thank you for coming, Chris, we appreciate it. We'll be in touch.
So we're gonna waylay this, item number 5. We won't be, that won't be in our call meeting tonight.
No, that way, if you don't mind, we can table it when the call
I think,
meeting comes.
just everybody okay with that?
Get to the meeting.
At the meeting, when the meeting is
We'll
on,
just make-
just do a motion. to
Wes,
table
are you still with us?
August.
Wes?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. All right, item number 6, is a discussion of purchasing police units.
That will be Mr. Buddy Dowdy. Chief Dowdy's gonna take care of it. What happened is we had a fortuitous event occurred that, there's some 2013 Dodge Chargers, I believe are, that, a dealership had 80 of them. They're down to 20. They called the chief and, made him just offer that I really don't think we can refuse, but we need to act on it quickly, before they're gone. So go ahead, Chief.
Last fiscal year, we paid $24,092 for Dodge Chargers. Right now, we can get our hands on 2013, which are new in the box, warranty, the whole 9 yards, for $19,800 a piece. We can buy 6 of these units and still be under our budget for 2015.
That sounds good to me.
And like I said, he had 86 2 months ago, now he's down to 20. I called this morning, he still has some. I didn't ask him how many, but he's got at least 4 in stock. And like I said, we need to add on pretty quick, because they're first come, first served.
Okay. And that's on the call meeting for tonight.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Wes, any questions on that? Wes?
Yes,
Yeah, you okay on that, the police car units, you hear what Buddy said?
yeah.
Okay, okay. Item number 7.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
We've been working on the Streetscape 3, and we had to re-advertise for an engineering firm on that, and we sent bids out to several firms. Staff narrowed it down to 3. We had phone interviews with the 3 firms that were ranked the highest,
Thank you, Chief.
I'll be right back.
and the staff recommendation is to award the engineering services for Streetscape 3 to AMEC Environmental Infrastructure, Inc. out of Kennesaw, Georgia. They also did Streetscape 2 for us, and the safety loop project. They're working on that as well.
Okay.
So that's staff recommendation.
And that'll be on the call meeting as well.
Yes, sir, there's an item on there to authorize the city manager to enter negotiations with them.
Okay.
They have a price on there, we'll talk to them about that.
Okay. Discussion of bid for replacement of Belmont and Lee cars.
That'll be Mr. Scott Murphy from ESG Operations.
Okay.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. As you all are aware, 2 years ago, we've had some catastrophic failures on storm drains at Lee and Belmont. There were also Tyson and Davis were involved in that. Those have been repaired. Lee and Belmont are the last of the major issues along that. Those roads are currently closed, and I've got a picture or 2 in there, you can see why. It's part of the overall 10th Street drainage project that the city has already purchased basically the engineering for. In other words, the design has been done. It's been done. So at this point, we're just really looking at construction. We put out requests for bids on the project. During the pre-bid conference, we did have 3 firms that attended. However, only 1 firm elected to submit. That's Southern Concrete. They're also the firm that did the repair at the other 2 roads, Davis and Tyson. Engineer's estimate for that job was approximately $300,000. Their prices come in at $299,524, so really tight with the estimate. That's good news for us. If you would move over. This first slide here is Belmont. You can see why the street is closed. Catastrophic failure of the drainage system resulted in obvious road failure. Next one, please. This is Lee. Lee is not quite so bad. I'll show you another picture of this next one. It's difficult to see in the picture, but you've got failure along this storm drain, and the road is actually undermined halfway across the road. It's already paved in, and there's basically a void in there that would, if any substantial weight was on it, if a car were to go across it now, it would likely fall into the void. Last one. And this is an example of what the proposed bid would produce. We would go from the old style corrugated pipe culverts to a newer box culvert. It would be all concrete. It includes a ring wall and what we call a deck pad right in here. It helps to, this wing wall and deck pad help to control erosion through that area. It's a much improved design. Based on that, the bid itself came in at engineer's estimate. We're a little disappointed we only had one that participated. The simple fact of the matter with this type of work, that firm is a concrete company. It's very difficult for other concrete companies to compete against that simply by distance. Their product is so heavy. So we're actually really quite satisfied with their bid.
That unit has the floor concreted into it as well?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
And these are,
All the way.
dimensions-wise, these are 6x9 box culverts.
Right.
It's a bit of a standard, and DOT has pre-designs for it. In this case, the box culvert flows substantially more water than the simple pipes were in there. I mean, literally the surface area, if you compare, it's about 10 times what the old culverts could carry. So it's a really step up, really big improvement.
Sounds good.
Mayor, that'll also be on the call meeting this evening. We want to get that project
Yeah.
going. I know you've received some phone calls on
Yeah,
how
we did.
we're not getting those streets open back up.
That sounds good. Thank you, sir. Our next item, okay, first, what's that, item number 9, go ahead.
Yes, we received a request for annexation of approximately 6.51 acres, which included.
Excuse me, guys. Rob, if I've had a banking relationship with one or both of these entities, do I need to recuse myself?
Is that a past or present relationship?
Present.
Then I would think you probably should.
Okay. What do I just need to hang up, or you guys call me back, or how we need to do that?
We're going to have the chief come go to his house.
Well, Wes, if you just, I mean, just don't comment or make any discussion, and then of course you won't vote on it.
Okay, okay.
All right. We received a request for annexation of approximately 6.651 acres, consisting of 2 tracts, 502 West 17th and 1704 South Ridge Avenue. We posted everything as we should. We've had no comments back. It does follow right straight into the city. And the staff recommendation is to approve the annexation. That was also the recommendation on a unanimous basis by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
These were split lots too, by the way. Those were just 17, part of them in, part of them around. So
Okay.
it's actually in Mr. Terrell's district.
Thank you, Bert. Appreciate it. Yes, one more. Okay.
Number 10 was the corresponding rezoning of that. Anytime we have an annexation, there has to be a corresponding rezone. We're requesting that the rezoning, the zoning for this tract go to R8 residential, which would be a city residential rating of R8. It was previously R8M. And again, staff recommendation is to approve it, and that was also the unanimous recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Okay.
Any questions?
These are in your district, aren't they, Vice Mayor?
Yes, sir.
All right, if there's no questions, then thank you, Bert. Appreciate that. Item number 11 is the board report for, from.
Yes, sir, I've talked to you about some of this before, but on the Tifton Tree Board, I'm requesting that we reappoint Joseph LaForest. And he is continuing to serve. He's looking at how the board may be restructured. But I would like for us to go ahead and just reappoint him, and if he decides to, to step down at some point, we can continue to try to replace him.
Okay.
And on the Keep Tiff Beautiful board, Elaine Cook is continuing to serve until she sells her home, and I would like to go ahead and replace her as well. She has agreed to that, if you all agree.
You said you want to replace her, is that what you said?
Reappoint.
Oh, reappoint.
Reappoint her until she sells her
Okay, yeah,
home, I'm
reappoint.
sorry.
Okay, good.
Also, we need a replacement for Mr. Fowler, and I have attached an application from Terry Brown. She's the manager of Publix,
Right.
and she's willing to serve wherever you all feel that she's needed. Just a suggestion that you might want to consider her.
May I make a comment?
Sure.
As to why I left the board. It's a wonderful board. Anyone should be honored to be on it. But I was having some health problems, still a little bit, and time. And I felt like the board was too good for me not to give it 100%. And that's why I decided to come off of it, so they can get somebody on there to help them. But we are willing to give this board any kind of free publicity they want to meet their agenda. It is a marvelous board.
Hey, well, thank you for those comments. Thank you for the time that you did serve, and we hope you're feeling a little bit better now.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted y'all to know that.
Thank you.
And of course, the library board is the replacement of Councilmember Cassie. I did send an email, as Julie requested, to Glenda Hemby. She did not respond. And I did take a look at their bylaws again, just to make sure that this person needs to really be a council person, a serving council person. So whatever you all decide you need to do.
And they do know, we've always had
Yes, sir.
a representative on there.
And Historic Preservation Commission, Brett Henderson has resigned from the HBC. There is an application I received the other day from Mark Peterman for you all to think about. I am requesting that this be on the called meeting agenda, just so that you can at least address the library board.
On the HBC, I talked with the gentleman that's wanting it on, and it may be that he changed his mind. I would appreciate us holding off on that until
Okay.
he can make his final decision.
Okay.
Because I think we all five were happy with him.
Okay.
Trying to be fair and open.
And that's my report.
Okay. All right, well, we're gonna go into we're gonna have an executive session after the call meeting. Oh, I'm sorry. We always need to turn that page over, Hayward. There's always something on the back. Okay, gotcha. You wanna go right on into the call meeting, Mr. Attorney? Okay, all right. We call the meeting to order. First item is the resolution providing for the adoption of the FY 2015 millage rate. Wes, you're there, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're in the meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved, that we adopt the 2015 millage rate as presented.
Second.
I've got a motion, got a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand.
Aye.
And Wes, if you would now, good, aye. That is unanimous, Ms. Ron. Item number 13, approval of amended parking ordinance. Who we're going to table that?
I'll make a motion to table that until the August 5th meeting,
Fourth council.
August 4th.
August 4th.
Second.
I got a motion second, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by raising your right hand and saying aye. Aye. Wes?
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous. Item number 14, approval to purchase police units.
I make a motion to approve that.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by raising your right hand and saying aye.
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 That's unanimous. Item number 15, authorization for city manager to enter into negotiations for professional service for streetscape phase 3. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I've got a motion.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
could you amend the motion to enter into the contract as well as negotiations, please.
Okay, so we have that attachment.
Okay.
He does. Can we add that to it?
You can, but you'll have to make another motion.
Okay.
So moved.
Okay, I second his amendment. His
So
original
moved,
motion.
so seconded to include what Mr. Larry just said. Is that
Thank
okay?
you.
Rob?
That'd be fine. So basically, the motion as adopted is for those to negotiate and to enter into the contract.
Yes. Yes, sir. No further discussion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye, raising your right hand.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Item number 16 is the award of bid for Belmont and Lee culverts.
I'll make a motion to award the bid and authorize city manager to execute contract documents and notice to proceed.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Say aye. Aye. Now, Wes, are you raising your right hand? Hey, Natasha, on that one, be sure that gets a front page thing. There's been a lot of people that call us about the Belmont and Lee culverts. Please give us a plug on that one. Item number 17, designation of city attorney as meeting parliamentarian. Aye.
Aye.
I need a motion.
Move, so moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I think we need to yield the rest of our time to Rob to discuss this. Inside joke about
Do I get a vote on this?
Yeah.
All in favor, please signify by saying, well, raise your right hand and saying aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous, Ms. Rowland.
All right, thank you.
The board appointments, and we'll take those one by one. We'll take first the tree board.
I make a motion that we reappoint Mr. LaForest to the tree board.
Second.
I've got a motion, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by raising your right hand and saying aye. Aye. That's unanimous. Keep Tifton. We have a question about retaining one and adding another in Mr. Falcon's place.
We need to reappoint Joe LaForce, is that right, Ron? He said he.
No, that was tree board.
Oh, that's tree board, I'm
Keep
sorry.
Tifton beautiful now.
I'm
Elaine
sorry.
Cook.
I can't read my own notes over here.
I make a motion that we reappoint Elaine Cook to the Keep Tiff Beautiful board.
Second.
Well, okay, all right. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by raising your right hand and saying aye.
Aye.
Now, also on the Keep Tiff Beautiful, do we want to consider, do I have a motion to consider Terry Brown to replace Mr. Fallon?
I make that motion that we appoint Ms. Brown to the Keep Tiff Beautiful board.
I have a
Second.
motion. Okay, I got a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by raising your right hand, saying aye. Aye. That's unanimous, Ms. Rowland. On the HPC, we have a, we were going, can I have a motion to table that? Can we table that for a little while? What do we need to do on that, Ms. Rowland? I think that guy might stay,
We can table it if you'd like.
but I need a motion for that, don't I?
Sure.
Or we need a motion, because somebody else may not want to table it. What's your pleasure, board?
I'm okay to find out if he wants to stay or not.
So you're asking for a,
I'll make that a form of a motion, that we
Motion.
table that until
okay.
we get a chance to speak with him about whether he wants to stay or not.
We will just table it to the August 4th meeting.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, I've got a motion, need a second?
Second.
For any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by raising your right hand, saying aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. On the library board, we need a motion on that.
Would that be one of us? Ron?
Yeah, let me say this, I think one or two of y'all asked me if I had the authority to make that appointment. I do not. I can put you on committees and stuff like that, and I have the right to appoint the Tifton Housing Authority. But on these, we have to vote as a board to make this appointment to the library board. So, that's good.
Well, I'm already on several committees already, and several boards as ex officio as it stands.
We need a motion.
Okay.
I discussed with all y'all about putting Johnny on. I went to each one of y'all. Wes, you remember that?
Mayor, you want to put Johnny on the board, is that right?
Yeah, I can't make the motion, but that's what we thought would be a good thing.
Okay, all right. I've talked to Mariana about, we had, our last meeting, we had talked about there was special projects that she was working on. And what the special project was is the board of elected officers.
Mr. Mayor,
And
point of order. You have a motion on the floor, you do not have a second yet.
Well, I didn't know anybody had one motion.
No, I'm sorry, my bad. That was,
Go ahead, Wes.
Okay, sorry. So anyway, they were appointing officers. The lady that they appointed for secretary was unable to serve the position, so they asked Mary Ann to become the secretary. That was the special project that she was doing. She believes that Johnny would be a great addition to the library board, so we've already got a second, or do we need a second?
No, we need a
I need a
motion.
motion.
We need a motion? Okay, well, I'll make a motion, put Johnny on the library board.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second to place Johnny on the library board at this time. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand and signify by saying aye. Aye, that is unanimous. Johnny, you will take over immediately, I guess. Okay, we certainly appreciate everybody being here, and at this time, we're going to go into executive session. We'll give you about 5 or 10 minutes to clear out. We're going to executive, well, I need a motion to go into executive session for personnel, real estate.
Mr. Mayor, this will just be real estate.
Yeah, just for
And
real
legal.
estate, yeah.
Real estate and legal.
I make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss real estate and legal matters.
Second.
I got a motion, 2 seconds. So, any further discussion?
We really want to go into a van, don't we?
Any further discussion? Seeing none, signify by raising your right hand and saying aye. And Wes, please stay on the, we'll take a short intermission here, and then we'll get, I need the resolution providing for executive session as well, Mr. Ron.
Okay.
Yes, sir, after we come out.
That's right, we'll do that when we come out. All right, think about it, 10, so Tasha, can we see you just be Chris, see what this is?